poem is Dust of Snow. This poem, we will talk about Dust of Snow actually. The poem is by Robert Frost, a very short poem, and it is divided into two stanzas only. What has happened only that the poet Robert Frost was very sad one day, and he has described his feelings, what had happened, and how he overcame all those things. Uh, First of all, I'll recite the poem to you. It's a very short poem. It goes like that. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. What he says actually, the way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. It's a very easy to understand that he was standing under a hemlock tree actually, and he was very sad that day. So what did he see? Something happened, something he noticed, something he saw that changed his mind. He saw that a crow was sitting on a hemlock tree. It's a winter season. The tree is full of snow, and the bird which was sitting on the tree, the dust particles of snow were on it also. So suddenly what did happen? The crow shook itself, and when the crow shook itself, the dust particles fell down on the poet. The poet learned a lesson from that. Poet thought that when if the crow has shaken off itself from the dust particles, so why can't he shook off himself from those sad thoughts about which he is regretting? So he also did so. The first four lines are, the way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. The crow who was sitting on a hemlock tree, he shook itself from the dust particles. Now second stanza, has given my heart a change of mood. When he saw the crow doing that, he also did same thing. He also shook down the sad thoughts from his heart, and that changed completely his mood. Earlier he was sad, he was regretting about something. Now he thought that there is no use of regretting those things, so he just let them go. He shook them, and now that had saved the rest of the time, rest part of the day from being ruined, from being wasted, and saved some part of a day I had rued. Rued, R-U-E-D, meaning which he was regretting. He had held something in his heart and he was regretting over that. Robert Frost says that he saw the crow shaking off the dust particles of snow, and he also did same thing. He also shook down those bad thoughts from his heart, and that completely changed his mind. Now students, we have to see, or we have to discuss 2-3 things here. The poet Robert Frost has deliberately used hemlock tree, the bird, crow, because talking about, if he has to use anything else, he should have used any beautiful tree also, any more useful tree also, which can give, talking about fruits, beautiful flowers. But this is, hemlock tree is a poisonous tree. On the other hand, if we see a crow is not a beautiful bird actually. If he had a choice, he would have used, talking about nightingale, he would have used a sparrow, peacock, but he chose a crow. And so these two things he has done deliberately, just to heighten up the gravity of the situation. He wanted to tell that, he wanted to describe talking about sight of depression and sadness, that he was sad, he was depressed that day. So he had deliberately chosen poisonous tree, which is hemlock, and crow, which is again, it's not a beautiful word, it does not have a beautiful voice. Okay, so both these things, symbols, if we're talking about which are the symbols used by the poet in the poem, so these are the two symbols, hemlock tree and crow, which symbolize actually sadness or sorrow. Other than that, other symbol in the poem used is that is dust particles of snow. Dust particles of snow are sad thoughts, and shaking off those sad thoughts and shaking off those dust particles is that shaking of those sad thoughts from the heart, because whatever is done, that has been done. There's no use of crying over the spilled milk, isn't it that? So that was the thing only, that we should not cry over the past, we should move on, we should learn from our past and then we should go on. That actually wanted Robert Frost wanted to say. The small poem Dust of Snow, a very beautiful poem. In our next video we will meet or we'll talk about next poem Fire and Ice.